Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, with not too many more rosters to be confirmed here for CDL 2022. More leaks as to where ZooMaa might potentially end up, a potential Scump and formal reunion, but also Envoy taking down a Modern Warfare throwback tournament once again. Very much enjoying your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new as always. I would greatly appreciate the videos on the channel. Thank you very much indeed for the first of all. Thought this was kind of funny from Atlanta FaZe players must finish a full game without falsely calling out an enemy one shot. That's going to be pretty, well, it's going to be a significant challenge, I would imagine. This from Pred, Visa, there's the tick. Now we plan our move to the US. Can't wait to start the season. This great to see. Of course, Pred going to be going to Seattle. Good to see them get all that stuff sorted out, right? Because we know that London have had some issues with that in the past. That's the thing. If you look in the description box of this video, all the way at the bottom, there's like, I've put the rosters that are currently confirmed, the rosters that are currently rumoured. And London has been rumoured at this point for a very long time. I do wonder whether they're kind of just making sure that all the visa stuff is sorted out there, because they've had problems before with Nasty, Zero last year, Gizmo as well, who knows what's going to happen there. Afro is already out in the States, I think, so that should be okay. But still, hopefully they get everything sorted on the London side, and it seems like Pred and Seattle, that is, well, good to go. Pred can get out to the States in time for the season to begin, and hopefully relatively soon, right, because obviously you want to practice with your full team as soon as the game does indeed launch. This also from Formal What We Think It, a T2B reunion of Vanguards. Scump dropping the eyes emoji in the replies. Lots of talk about this kind of Mountain Dew game fuel stuff the last couple of days from the launch date. It's always a good time when the game launches, and everyone's doing these kind of races to master prestige and stuff like this, but also all the search and destroy tournaments that go on the opening night. Definitely very fun to watch and potentially to get involved in as well. But yeah, Vanguard is not too far away at this point, right? It's only on November the 5th, I'm pretty sure it comes out, and we're on October the 23rd. So yeah, this off-season has been ramping along, and well, there's obviously a fair few more confirmations to go as of yet. We've got 8 teams confirmed so far, 4 teams still to be confirmed. Paris Legion, we don't really know what they're doing, even though, to be fair, on yesterday's Flank episode, ZooMaa said towards the end that he believes John will be going to Paris, as will Temp. So maybe that's an indication. I mean, I don't know, like, is ZooMaa just straight up leaking it, or is he just kind of saying things he thinks might potentially happen? I don't really know, but still a possibility. I imagine Paris are thinking about players of that kind of caliber as once again, trying to build a team on the minimum that actually has players with some veteran experience. I would imagine that's kind of what they tried to do before, if they're going down the same route again. Washington, DC, we're not really sure. Methods, Vivid, +2, maybe Paul X, but he was kind of hinting about even being in challengers, but I suppose we'll see about that. Then, of course, the OpTic Dallas side has not yet been confirmed, and the whole like merger going on over there, and also London, as we just talked about. So those are the 4 teams yet to be confirmed, and then, of course, all the substitute question marks, still a lot of the coaching question marks are up in the air, so lots that's still to be decided here. But yeah, I don't imagine Formal will be returning for, well, in the professional side of things, but maybe Formal and Scump, some sort of reunion going on Vanguard when it does launch, in some sort of tournament and the like from launch day and beyond. And if Formal likes it and maybe gets him back into Halo or something, who knows, he could return at some point down the line into competition. Just wanted to share this real quick from the OpTic podcast that comes out yesterday, because loads of debate coming around, okay, where's ZooMaa going? Is he going to 100 Thieves? Is he going to OpTic? So many clips coming out the last 24 hours really about ZooMaa kind of saying, oh, like, you know, I want to do this piece of content, oh, I hope 100 Thieves, oh, wait, I shouldn't have said that type of thing. And pretty good acting, to be fair, from ZooMaa in some of these clips. But just because he's baiting 100 Thieves, and of course the OpTic stuff, as these guys are going to discuss in this clip, like, it's pretty much confirming he's not going to OpTic, and that would make sense anyway, given ZooMaa's moved to LA, and OpTic are based in Texas right now. Like, yeah, it should be one of the LA teams. You'd think either FaZe, you'd think either LAG, or, well, 100 Thieves, and he's been baiting a lot about 100 Thieves, so it kind of steers me away from that direction as well.
I don't know. I'm super happy for the dude, though, man. Like, oftentimes in this industry, a lot of underserving people, and when I say underserving, I mean just like literal blatant assholes, get to a level that they're not supposed to. So when it happens to someone as good of a person as ZooMaa, also one of us, you know what I mean? Yeah. Call of Duty kid, growing up, smashing. So congrats to him. Where's he going? Do you know? Yeah, that's a yeah. All right, well, I need to know where. Later on today. What do you think? He's leaving NYSF.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't know. I read the tweet earlier though, but good for him though. Yeah, now it's like
he's cool. I with him.
Yeah, he have more opportunities now too. Lots more.
This, though, that did get noticed, I don't know whether this is like, whether this is photoshopped or not, but well, as Fundip says in reply to the tweet here from the flank, is, well, as you can see, 100 Thieves, you can look at all the people they have as part of their organization, and if you zoom in here under creators, you'll see that ZooMaa is listed right at the bottom. Now, I don't know, like, I tried to put this into, like, to change the contrast to see if this was, like, had been photoshopped in or something. It looks like it was here, but it could, like, be done on Expect Element or something like that. Like, it could potentially be changed, or whether they just put it here as a joke, and this is actually actually screenshot at the time. I'm not really sure because I went onto the website, and if you look at it right now, you can see just as it was in that image, but without a Zoom at the bottom of the creators list, right? So it's effectively, well, it's the same thing right here between this and this, but Zoom is here and Zoom is not here. So I don't know whether like 100 Thieves are just having a complete bait here, or someone just made this up and photoshopped it. I'm not really sure, but maybe they did it by accident and they removed it. Maybe it is 100 Thieves. I suppose it does remain to be seen over the coming days. But yeah, big question marks really. Where does he potentially go? I think FaZe is kind of the big discussion from my perspective. Not too much bait around that side, but still could be LA Thieves, could be 100 Thieves, could be Los Angeles Guerrillas if they paid him an absolute bag. But I'm pretty sure he said that this weekend, which I guess we're into the weekend now, or early next week, there'll be some announcement. He's going to do like an emergency flank or whatever to kind of break down the decision making and all that type of stuff with the new branding that's going to come along with it as well after leaving New York a couple of days ago. This then from HitchRide, $15,000 Pro Sim Invitational presented by Ridgewell. Going to be a great day. This is a lot of good fun, to be honest. Pro Sim Invitational back on Modern Warfare in this 5v5 arena with all the players having to use different weapons and stuff like this. It was pretty cool to see. One of the teams actually was Scump, Marcel, Jukies, Blake of course from OpTic, and Bobby Poff as well. So this is one of the squads. They didn't quite have the result that they would have wanted in this tournament, to be honest. We'll have a look here at the bracket in just a second where you guys can see it. A lot of big names playing in this though, if you guys can just about see that actually on the left-hand side. aBeZy, Pamaj, Tommy, for example. I mean, there was an Envoy's team that ended up winning the entire thing with Dirty and Co. We'll have a look at their run in a second. RC's got taken down. Tupac was here as well. George was on this squad, of course, because Hitch was kind of the only guy doing the overview. So really great tournament. And, Shotzi, Suprev, a lot of big names in this one. And you can see Karma's team playing with his wife, Holly, Fugitives and Co. We saw them playing a tournament a couple of days ago. So, I'll scroll down through some of the teams here. Classify, Temp, some of these guys getting involved. Celly, actually, of course, with the whole drama that we looked at not too long ago in that Black Ops 4 chal. And then Scump's team ended up losing to Temp and Co. And, it didn't end up going too well for them, to be honest, because, they went down to losers and got double round robin or double first rounded by Aiden and the boys over at this side of things. So I'm pretty sure there was like a draft that went on that formed these squads. And, if you follow it all the way through to its conclusion, you'll find that Envoy and Co. won the entire thing. They beat out, Karma's team in I guess this is the winners finals. They then went down to the lower side. They took down Arcitys and Co. And then came back and still lost to Envoy and the boys. That's the thing with Envoy. He's, especially with that Uzi, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, the Uzi kind of got G8 or whatever. Or at least, towards the end of the Modern Warfare season. But, in these kind of pro mod tourneys, it actually, the Uzi is still used, right? And Envoy was dominant with that weapon at the time. Definitely one of the players that generally does like to experiment with new things like this. And is pretty effective with that type of weaponry. So, maybe that'll carry into Los Angeles Thieves here in Call of Duty Vanguard if there's something which is a bit obscure. Because usually at some point in the season, if not right at the start, the pros usually kind of decide what the meta is going to be relatively early on. And then there's some players that come in as maybe a new weapon comes in, or there's some sort of patch update, and the players are kind of stuck in their ways, or maybe this game it will be the STG, the MP40, but then maybe another weapon comes in which is actually really, really good, and some pros, the likes of Envoy and potentially others, might start using that one, and then the pros have to decide whether they want to GA it or not, because if Envoy and Los Angeles Thieves are getting better by using it, then it's in the other pro team's best interest to kind of just a gentleman's agreement that weapon. I'm sure I will be talking more on these type of topics over the coming days and weeks, especially when the game comes out, because that's when all the GA discussion kicks off, what actually should be banned in the official rule set, and what is maybe not being banned, but the pros still think it possibly should be. Tommy, aBeZy and Co didn't have the greatest result, but I think they came like top 4, top 6, something like that. But as he says, crazy fun playing in this throwback tourney hosted by the TST boys. Good vibes with the squad, and it felt so good to be playing something proper competitive again. If there's any teams looking for a player or sub next year, I am about it. So Tommy hasn't really been in the league since the start of the Modern Warfare season when he joined actually Dallas Empire, I think as like a substitute or something, and he was almost kind of coaching their team at one of the London events right at the start of the year. Then has moved in and done great things in the Warzone side. But previous to that was a really solid pro player in the European Call of Duty scene for so many a year, and had really great results over a really incredible tenure. And it'd be interesting to see him come back right somewhere or another. And as he says, like if there's any teams, not necessarily just CDL, maybe he's interested in actually getting back into competitive. Rated has said a similar thing, that Warzone maybe doesn't quite satisfy the competitive drive as actually playing proper competitive tournaments in the CDL and elsewhere actually does. So we'll have to see how it goes from Tommy. This also from Karma, considering I just played my least fun game of all time, that big Modern Warfare for 8 hours. It was an absolute blast playing a pro mod type variant. You get it every year with these, and for a good cause at Hitch. So maybe Karma not necessarily too convinced of returning as Tommy and Co is. Just wanted to share a couple of things also that came up from the flank last night on some of the decision making really surrounding this roster construction for the subliners. Of course, some questions coming up whether Crimsix could run a flex. Didn't really touch on that in yesterday's video, but just wanted to mention really that Crimsix for a large part of his career has actually played in that type of role with multiple different weapons, but also like he's a very aggressive player. So I think he can make the flex role work pretty well. But a couple of clips here really on how they decided to form their roster.
Yeah. Somebody asked what went into the decision of Asim and Mack. Kind of how did that happen? Was it kind of just people on the team? I think it was kind of mutual in a way. Was it, JP, where certain people on the team just didn't want to play with each other?
Yeah, I think that was the basis of it. Like, at the end of the day,
they just didn't want to team with each other anymore.
You're going to have players that don't want to play with each other or do want to play with certain people. So that's just how it came about.
Yeah, I mean, Mack ended up on a good team with Seattle. I think Asim ended up in a good spot with LAG.
Nep was actually someone that me and Bobble really liked going into Cold War, and we're thinking about, or we actually reached out to him to be like our sub spot going into Cold War, but he did end up getting that starting spot with Florida. So he was always on our radar as someone who like we knew would have that talent coming from Halo. And then as we saw him, you know, throughout the lands and throughout the stages individually, I think he was performing really well. So he was definitely on like our radar. Crim was also like obviously on our radar because of, you know, get the #1 Call of Duty player of all time as someone who's basically a restricted free agent. You have to be looking at them. It's like, especially
I think the one downfall with Crim was the price. At least working behind the scenes and just knowing what New York had to deal with on a day-to-day basis with some of these roster changes. It's like, listen, you have a budget to work with. You know, some of these players are a lot of money.
This also for Methods, he drops the soon, right? So the questions about this DC team, will Methods potentially be over there? That, of course, does remain to be seen. Hopefully, well, the OpTic stuff and the Washington stuff probably going to take longer than the others, but I do wonder when the next announcement is going to be. And of course, speaking of the OpTic stuff, Shotzi's just absolutely world-starring people here in Warzone. It's just, it's crazy what this guy's capable of. Like, I mean, this shot right here, like, look at it. He just quickscopes this guy at the sky. It's pretty disgusting. Very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. I know you enjoy this content. Other people just like you may enjoy this content as well. And I hope grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.